How to Think Like a Millionaire, Chapter 2. Wealth is a state of mind. Mind is the master power that molds and makes, and we are mind and evermore we take. The tool of thought and shaping that we will bring forth 1,000 joys, 1,000 ills. We think in secret and it comes to pass. Our world is but our looking glass. James Allen. The most common mistake we make is looking outside ourselves for what we can only find inside. Success is no exception. Just as the source of true happiness lies within each of us, success also comes from within. Success is a result of a very specific mental attitude. Call it what you like, the mentality of the rich, an attitude of success, prosperity consciousness. Success is the outward manifestation of an inner focus, the result of steering thoughts toward a specific target. Unfortunately, most people are unaware of this. Most of the principles in the following chapters lead to a higher universal truth. The mind is capable of anything. Genuine wealth is, above all, the state of mind, a state that has taken form in the lives of the rich and successful. We have to begin by being rich in mind before we can become rich in life. Successful in mind before we can become successful in life. Gaining a clear understanding of the subconscious is fundamental. It's all very well to tell people that they must believe in success and fortune and want it passionately. Yet, most people are paralyzed by bad experiences. They appear to be completely incapable of cultivating what Friedrich Nietzsche called the will to power. It's not all easy to demand action and firmness from someone who is uncertain, indecisive, passive, and unmotivated. By discovering the mechanisms and power of the subconscious mind, however, anyone can overcome these obstacles. Our subconscious mind is limitless. We are the creators of our own happiness or misery. Truly understanding this statement can be our most important motivator. The key to success ultimately lies in the proper use of the subconscious mind. Both the means to make money and the outside circumstances affect us so varied and so personal that it would be impossible to propose a single, surefire, winning formula to create success. No miracle recipe exists. But there is a common theme through all success stories. This simple, single theme is a positive inner attitude. Analysts and research only go so far. And then our sixth sense, what some people call business sense or intuition, comes into play. The result of positive mental programming and a well-utilized subconscious mind. The subconscious mind is best represented by the single image of the iceberg. The iceberg visible part is the conscious mind, while the submerged and much larger part is the subconscious. The role of the subconscious mind in our lives is much greater than most of us understand. It's the seat of our habits, complexes, and the limitations of our personalities. No matter what we think, the subconscious, not outside circumstances, is responsible for an individual's success or failure. There are many ways by which the subconscious gets programmed. Cultures program the subconscious, beliefs program the subconscious. It is well established, for example, that beliefs affect perception. The subconscious can be compared to a computer. It blindly and infallibly executes the program fed into it. An appropriate term from the computer industry is GIGO, garbage in, garbage out. Much of our programming from infancy onward has been negative garbage coming straight from negative belief systems. In early childhood, our critical sense is still undeveloped, and we naturally accept all suggestions from the outside world. The program's database, so to speak, comes at first from our parents, then teachers, media, and peers. Their words become engraved on our minds, which are impressionable as soft as clay. A single word can blight someone's life or at least weigh them down for a long term. This word may have been said without malice, but it contained fear and negativity. The effects can be disastrous. A pessimistic mother one day snapping in frustration may tell a child she considers too impulsive, whimsical, to quit dreaming, stop living in the clouds. Who do you think you are? These remarks are recorded in the child's subconscious and become part of his or her mental programming. This job of the subconscious, which has almost limitless power, is to execute this program, making a child fail over and over again. The most tragic thing of all is that people who have had this type of early conditioning can spend their entire lives unaware that they are victims of negative mental programming. Words are extremely powerful agents. A declaration of love, a piece of bad news, a word of congratulations, all have major impact on our inner state. And then words don't even have to be true for the mind to accept them. Thomas Peters and Robert Waterman Authors of In Search of Excellence describe an experiment that illustrates the power of words, even those words that are untrue. An old adage is nothing succeeds like success, and it turns out to have a sound scientific basis. Researchers studying motivation found that the prime factor is simply the self-perception among motivated subjects that are in fact doing well. Whether they are not by any absolute standard doesn't seem to matter much. In one experiment, adults were given 10 puzzles to solve. All 10 were exactly the same for all subjects. They worked on them, they turned them in, and were given results at the end. Now, in fact, the results were actually all fictitious. Half of the exam takers were told they had done very well, with 7 out of 10 correct. The other half were told they had done poorly, with 7 out of 10 wrong. Then all were given another 10 puzzles, the same for each person. The half who had been told they'd done very well the first time really did do better the second time around, and the other half really did do worse. So mere association with past personal success apparently lends to more persistence, higher motivation, or something that makes us do better. The result of this experiment is worth some thought. The subjects' subconscious minds were influenced by the falsified results. Perception alone radically improved one group's performance and weakened the others. A little further on, the same authors advanced the following theory as a result of this experiment. We often argue that the excellent companies are the way they are because they are organized to obtain extraordinary effort from ordinary human beings. What applies to business certainly applies equally to individuals. The secret? A well-guided subconscious mind. In addition to parents, teachers, and friends who clumsily express negativity without realizing the harmful effect they have, there is another very important programming agent as well, the individual. All of us have our own inner monologue that program us constantly. We repeat to ourselves, nothing ever works for me. I'm always tired. What am I doing with my life? Am I not appreciative enough? I'm not good enough. It's hard to succeed. I never have enough time. I've wasted so much time. The list is endless. These negative, pessimistic thoughts that we repeat to ourselves more or less consciously influence or reinforce the current program. But they don't have to stay in our subconscious mind. When we reach adulthood, we can take responsibility for our own belief systems. No programming has to be permanent. Any negative programming can be turned around. How? Through the power of even a single affirmation that effectively counteracts the negative programming. The power of affirmations, the power of self-suggestion. How can we acquire a mentality that will produce favorable circumstances and attract success? There are a wide variety of methods available, all based on some form of self-suggestion. These methods have a number of different names: mental programming, positive thinking, affirmation, self-hypnosis, psycho-cybernetics, the Alpha Method. All of these techniques have proven to be effective. Both authors of this book have experimented wonderful results by using a simple formula or affirmation developed by the famous French pharmacist Emile Q. Q's discovery was accidental. One day, one of his clients insisted on buying a drug from which he needed a prescription. He had no prescription, but still stubbornly demanded the drug. Q thought of a trick. He recommended a product that he said was just as effective, but was actually only a sugar pill. The patient came back a few days later, completely cured and absolutely delighted with the results. What was later called the placebo effect had just been discovered. What had happened to this patient? It was essentially the same phenomenon that had occurred in the experiment In Search of Excellence, except that the magical effect of words or confidence of the subconscious had acted on the physical rather than the intellectual level. This patient was cured by his confidence in the pharmacist and in the medication, as well as the mental certainty that it was going to go well. It didn't take Q long to realize the significance of his experiment. If a word could cure an ailment, what could it do to someone's personality? In the next few years, he developed an extremely simple formula, one that involved no sugar pills, simply words. It has been applied throughout the world and has improved the lives of thousands of individuals. The formula is actually a simple self-suggestion. Since Q couldn't stay at all the patient's bedsides or stay in contact with them, the patients could cure themselves using the formula, which consisted of these words: every day, in every way, I'm getting better and better. who advise people to repeat this sentence aloud in monotone voice at least 25 times a day. Countless variations on the formula have been conceived. We can each concoct our own according to our needs and personality. The effects are astounding. This general formula, this simple affirmation, embraces all aspects of our lives and has limitless possibilities. The golden rule of self-suggestions is repetition, so that it should be repeated daily throughout the day to have the best effects. A relaxed state where the subconscious is more receptive to new information is the best, though not essential. It makes the process effective more quickly. You are naturally in a relaxed state after meditation upon waking up or at bedtime, or relaxation can easily be self-induced. To do this, lie down and seat yourself comfortably in an armchair and close your eyes. Inhale deeply several times. Then relax each separate part of your body, beginning with the feet, ankle, legs, and do this until you get up to your head. You must literally flood your subconscious with your new formula. Little by little, a new program will set in and a new personality will emerge. Negative reinforcement will give way to positive reinforcement, to enthusiasm, energy, boldness, and determination. Don't be put off by the simplicity of this method, as were many of Q's contemporaries who refused to believe that such a simple technique could be effective. As the authors of this book, we are living proof that this technique is effective. Try it several times a day for at least a month. See the results for yourself. Many successful people, when faced with adversity, have subconsciously resorted to this technique or others like it. Whether confronted by the problems or on the threshold of a new adventure, they learn to condition or reprogram themselves by repeating the ideas that they would reach success, that no obstacle would hinder their attempts, that their visions would certainly become a reality. The cumulative result of all our inner programming is our self-image. Despite our conscious efforts to create a self-image, each of us have only a vague idea of the one we actually project. We have even more vague ideas of the role self-image plays in our lives. It's important to understand this because people are what they believe themselves to be. Everything in our lives, including our wealth, joy, and physical shape, is directly proportional to our self-image, directly influenced by our self-image. Peter Senge adds another important point. Ultimately, what matters most in developing the subconscious is genuine caring for the desired outcome, the deep feeling of it being the right goal toward which we aspire. The subconscious seems especially receptive towards goals in the line of our deepest aspiration and values. According to some spiritual disciplines, this is because these deeper aspirations input directly to or part of the subconscious mind. His words are worth pondering. Picture your success. Imagine it clearly. What do you want? What does your version of success look like? You are unique. You have a unique definition of success, and success can only come through your unique vision. Those who see themselves as nothing but lowly employees who can't imagine ever being able to scale the corporate ladder will stay in lowly positions. There is no way I can double my income this year. If this is what we believe, life proves us right. We always establish our goals according to our self-image. It's therefore just as hard for us to fail as to succeed, and it's just as easy for us to succeed as it is to fail. A new self-image produces a new goal, and a new goal results in a new life. In her powerful book, Creative Visualization, Shakti Ganway writes, creative visualization is the technique of using your imagination to create what you want in life. All successful people pictured themselves successful before achieving their dreams, no matter how poor they were in the beginning, no matter how little education they had, no matter how few contacts they had. All of them pictured themselves successful. They became convinced that they would be successful. Life answered their dreams in accordance with their self-image and the faith they had in their own success. Because of this direct correlation between our self-image and what life offers you, it's extremely worthwhile to work on your self-image so that every day and in every way you are getting better and better. This affirmation does wonders on your self-image. You can change your self-image at any time according to your aspirations. In the beginning, when you start reprogramming yourself and shaping your new self-image, you'll inevitably be influenced by your old image. This is completely natural. Change takes place in a gradual stage, but you will eventually develop a new self-image, and it will produce new goals, and new goals will inevitably change your life for the better. Experience has shown that to be fully effective, self-suggestions or affirmations should be brief. If they are too long, they will not be effective. Number two, they must be positive, which is both absolutely essential. Repeating the statements with the negative word could produce the opposite results of what you want. You have to take a positive yet gradual approach. Some authors write that you must formulate your suggestions if you already have what you desire. I am now rich. This could be counterproductive in some cases, however, because our conscious mind might see a contradiction here. Mental conflict could arise to compromise the positive results of the self-suggestion. If you repeat, I am now rich, or my job is perfect, at least some part of the mind would naturally sense the inconsistency, especially if you're broke or out of work. In our opinion, it's better to say, I'm getting more and more successful day by day, or I am creating a perfect job. It's important to find the affirmation that feels positive and empowering for you. Affirmations guarantee success. We know this from experience. Even starting with a mechanical and barely convincing repetition of your words have some effect. The more emotion and feeling you put into your suggestion, however, the better the results will be. Don't impose limitations on your affirmations. Your potential is extraordinary. As Ray Kroc, the founder of McDonald's, said, think big and you'll become big. Summary and recommended action. To sum up this chapter, there are ways to imprint powerful change in your life. Write down your versions of success in the form of an affirmation that has particularly been powerful to you. An example might be, I now have an annual income of X, or I am creating the perfect job for myself. This simple act will have a great impact on you, giving your thoughts more power and authority. It becomes a springboard for change. Never lose sight of your affirmations. It is your formula for success. Leave it in a place where you will see it regularly and continue to affirm it regularly. Another way to imprint powerful change is to repeat single words frequently. For example, many successful people share the following characteristics: persistent, enthusiastic, energetic, confident, imaginative, diligent, bold, intuitive, persuasive, authoritative, fun-loving, positive, astute, dependable, daring, relaxed. Pick a word that describes a characteristic you want to strengthen in yourself and repeat the word throughout the day, or affirm, I am blank. This is a very effective technique. Make a list of the qualities you would like to develop more fully using or adding to the list above. Choose the qualities you need to work on the most. Work on one at a time, starting with your weakest. Feel how much stronger you soon become. Affirm yourself repeatedly every day and in every way. I'm getting better and better. This is the end of chapter 2.